And let's finally review the reasons for writing arguments in standard form. And it sounds like a bothersome process. It sounds like an elaborate, a long process. Many people think, gee, I can analyze, I can figure out the argument, I can analyze it, I can assess it, I can figure out if it's good or bad without doing all this. Well, there's a reason for doing this. First of all, by writing it out and working on it focuses our attention on the critical points. That is, it enables us. Remember earlier we talked about the difference between, let's say reason and emotion, between rational power and rhetorical strength, or sometimes literary merit of an argument. By stating and reconstructing the argument in this way, it focuses our attention on the critical points. It also makes us clearly identify the assumptions. It helps us identify places where there are missing assumptions and figure out what these assumptions are. Because in most arguments, people don't state everything, all of their reasons. They want you to fill in the gap. So to make sure you're being fair in reconstructing the argument, you want to clearly fill in those gaps, state exactly what those are. It also makes us clarify the premises and the conclusions that may have been stated in an obscure, misleading, or imprecise way. That is, sometimes the premises are unstated or conclusions are unstated. Sometimes they're stated as questions. We've seen examples of that. Sometimes they're left out. Sometimes they're just ambiguous. We talked a little bit about ambiguity when we were talking about truth and rationality, about what proposition is really being expressed. Definitions sometimes help, and definitions sometimes come in as premises in arguments. And finally, when we're actually going to evaluate premises or evaluate the argument, it makes it easy for us to refer to which premises or which conclusions we're talking about, because we can refer to them by number. So we're not suggesting that you run your love life by argument analysis. And we're not suggesting that, when you're deciding somebody to date, that you should write the argument in standard form. However, we are suggesting if you're trying to make a rational decision, a reasonable decision, following this method is a good way to go. And furthermore, just something to think about. Another advantage of this method is, let's say you're considering an issue and you don't know which side of the issue you should take. It allows you to consider other people's positions on this issue, evaluate their reasons, their arguments for their differing positions, and helps you decide which arguments are better, which reasons are stronger, which side you should take in the argument.